CSS colors are a lot more complicated than you might think. Let me prove it to you. So there are many different ways that we can add colors to things, and there's also many different things that we can add colors to. For example, we could add a background color to just about any tag that we want, or we could add a text color to just about any tag that we want. And there's many different ways we can add that color as well, including RGB, hex, or HSL, and there's quite a few others on top of that as well. So if we wanted to add a background color to the, let's say, body, we could just select the body in the CSS and set the background color property to whatever color. We could select black or green or red. Let's just go with lime. And we could save that, and you can see the background for the whole page has turned to the color lime. We also have the background shorthand property, just called background, which we could add colors to, such as red, or we could add images using the URL property, or we could use the size to change the size of the background, the position of the background, and everything else with the background we can add to this background property as well. Let's just change this to a red color for now, and you can see it has changed the color to red, and we can change it back to lime. I like lime a little bit better, so we'll change it back to lime just like that. And this property can be added to just about any tag, so if I want to change the background of the H1, we could set the background to orange, and you can see now the background color of the H1 tag is now an orange color. We also have the ability to change the text color, so if I want to change the color of a P tag, we could use the color property, and we could change that to, say, blue, and the P tag has been changed to blue. And we could also do that for things like divs, and I could change the color to, let's say, green. Can't really see it very well on the background, but the div color has been changed to green, and that's how you change the color of text. But so far we've only used named colors. These are the colors that have names just like these. But there's also a huge array of other colors that we could use. So if we wanted to get rid of all of this, and we could change the color, VS Code has a nice shortcut on here that we could use to pick our colors. It's just a basic color picker inside of VS Code, and we can change the color to whatever we want. We could say we could use the RGB 209.114.26, and that's the red, green, and blue. We could also change this to the HSL version, which is the D1721A, and we could also change this to HSL, which is hue, saturation, and lightness, and HWB, or hue, whiteness, and blackness. Let's just go back to RGB for now. We save that. You can see that color has been added to the background. Now the RGB is red, green, and blue, and these determine how bright the pixels are to create that color. You got values from 0 up to 255, 0 being black and 255 being white. And if you set 255 on all of these, you would get white, just like that. And if we set 0 on all of these, you would get black. And there's an array of different colors in between that you can choose from. So if we wanted to do a blue per se, we could do this 25, 186, 235. So that's 25 red, 186 green, and 235 blue. So you can see it's mostly a blue color. Now there's also the hex values that allow you to use hex rather than RGB values. So you have 0 through 9, and then A through F, or 10 through 15. A through F is 10 through 15. The higher the color, the more light that's going to come through for that pixel, and you've got pairs, so there's 6 values in a hex value. So if I wanted a black color, I would do 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and hex values always have to start with a pound sign, just like that. You can see the color has been changed to black. So if I wanted to change to a complete red, I would do FF0000 so that it comes through all as red, and 0 blue and 0 green. If I wanted to do all white, all I'd have to do is FFFFF, so 6 Fs that will give me a white color, and that's just straight white. And I can choose just about any color as before in between, which will give us an array of different colors that we could use. Now we also have the HSL values, which are hue, saturation, and lightness. I personally am not a huge fan of anything other than RGB or hex, but there are quite a few people that do like HSL values. So this is how you would write it out: HSL, and then you've got your hue here, you got your saturation percentage here, and your lightness percentage here. Your hue value is 0 to 360, your saturation percentage is 0 to 100%, and your lightness percentage from 0 to 100% as well. So we could change this using the VS Code shortcut here, and this is your hue slider right here. So this will give you a higher or a lower hue, and then your saturation and lightness colors would be changed using this color picker here. And these are the three main ways that you can add colors to a web page. There are quite a few more. If you want to read the MDN article, I will link it down in the description below. You can go ahead and read that if you would like. There's many different ways that you could add colors to a web page, but these are the three main ones and the three that most people prefer. Now there's a whole nother aspect of this that we haven't even talked about, and that's the alpha channel. Now the alpha channel defines how transparent something is, generally from 0 to 1, 0 being completely transparent and 1 being zero transparency at all. So to define our alpha channel, we would write RGBA, and then inside of there we would choose our color, and at the very last one would be our alpha channel. So we could do anywhere from 0 to 1, so we could choose any decimal value, 0.45, which would be right around half transparency. So we could always change the color to something like this, and you could see it is half transparent. Well, it's not very easy to see, but it is half transparent just about with the 0.45, or we could do a 0.9, which would be nearly non-transparent, but only slightly transparent. And if we wanted to define it on our hex value, we would define our hex value as, D2F3A6, something like that. And then the last two would be the alpha channel, so we could do AA, which would be right around a little more than half transparency. We would define our alpha channel as the last two values on our hex value, and our HSL value would just be like the RGBA value. It would be HSLA, and then you would define your three HSL values along with your alpha channel value as the very last one inside of there. And the alpha channel is present on the shortcut in VS Code. It's the little slider right here. This will define your alpha channel for you, so you can go from 0 to 1 on this slider, and it'll give you that precise alpha channel. And that's about it for what I'm going to get into today. Like I said, there's a lot more in-depth things that you can get into with colors in CSS. I'll leave the link down in the description below if you want to check out the MDN article. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you slap a like on it if you enjoyed. Make sure you check out the playlist. Link is right there. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.